What we do here is go back.
Okay, boys, before we get into this video, I want to make one thing absolutely clear. This has nothing to do with my personal opinion on Imian. All that I want to do, all that I want to accomplish with this video is to show you guys the information that I've been seeing over the last couple of weeks so you guys can make a full, unbiased opinion on this situation if you care enough to even have an opinion on it yourselves. Now, with that out of the way, let's go ahead and get into this stuff. So the first thing that I want to talk about, and we're going to go in chronological order, is the whole situation where Imian was playing with Xfibo and Simplex and Vancy, all content creators, and a couple of his friends. I was actually fully removed from this situation, so I don't have all of the insight in on it, but I was able to actually talk to a couple of people that do know what happened. And you guys, if you watch Imian's content, might remember the video. I'll put a clip on screen now, though.
Well, anyways, I'm about to show you why everything broke down and why everybody, the tribe fell apart. But basically, it was over just two people getting kicked. One person, Vancy, for, destroying the base. Nothing against them, but that's just what I decided. When I kick people, it's nothing personal, but I guess they took it very personally. Also, Xfibo I kicked because he was very inactive, and I've been in with him in other tribes where he's always been inactive, so I didn't really want him to join, although he asked me to join the night before. I felt bad, and I thought like he actually cared, so that's why I invited him. But then I realized that he didn't really care, and he was just going to be inactive all over again. So that's why I kicked him. Again, nothing personal, just related to tribe activity. But here, I'll show you guys because it's kind of funny, actually.
Why are you modding?
What do you mean, Dopey?
What are you talking about?
Just hit a truck dealer. Shut the fuck up. Go die and be that, man.
Who are you? No name.
Who are you, bro?
10K views.
What? And now Vezzy's in the call.
So I'm not even in the stripe, so I'm just talking. So what's happening?
You guys are retarded, honestly. Okay, so I have an executive decision, boys. So Imian and Dopey continue playing on their own, and we make our own tribe.
Exactly, good idea.
Oh, my guy Vancy got kicked as well. I just remembered. Hey, Vancy, my guy. Sorry, bro. I'm lucky. Bro, you were off for 15 minutes, and Dopey came and fucking he said,
Wait, I actually got kicked?
Me and you, bro. Me and you.
I mean, I'm never playing with you again.
Don't remember asking.
I'm so
Where you at?
confused.
Where you at?
Nancy's so buttered.
Bro, I was staying there AFK. Might as well kick out as well.
I mean, honestly, you can kick me. I can't be asked playing.
As you can see, Oz is upset, but he's the same person that was in the call when I asked to kick everybody before, and he didn't say anything or didn't speak up about it at all.
Alright, we'll kick it.
I don't know, that's funny, man. I mean, you're losing my respect hard right now.
Everything was fun and games. It was just two people getting kicked, but then it got really offensive.
Bro, like, it's insane. Like, I'm wondering if you have some mental issues, right? Bro,
Yeah,
even
what
before
about-
I joined, like, last night, I heard that you were talking shit, Dopey.
Wait, tell me what shit was I talking about you? What I said is I didn't want you to join the tribe because I said you were inactive. That's talking shit.
So like, how would you know that I'm in?
No. That talking shit. The people that knew you said you were inactive, so I was like, why are you inviting somebody that's inactive? That's why I talked to you when you joined, and I was like, yo, are you gonna be active? And then you say, I don't know. I was talking shit about Simplex, not you.
But okay, then can talking shit about Simplex, then you're talking shit to me as well. Because Simplex
Oh,
is
then
my
I guess
boy.
I was talking shit to you then. Alright, so what's the problem? What are you gonna do about it?
Because Simplex is my boy. Who the f are you?
Alright. Are you gonna give him a kiss? Like, what are we gonna do?
No, I just back up people.
Are you gonna send me an email? Like, what are we gonna do here?
So guys, there's a lot to unpack from that last clip, but first I would like to explain to you guys why I'm even bringing up this video in the first place. As I said in the intro, this video has nothing to do with my personal feelings about who Imian is as a person, and since I'm not included or involved in this video or this situation whatsoever, you might be asking yourself, Caesar, why are you even bringing it up? The reason that I bring this up is because of the conversation that me and Imian had after this situation took place with Simplex and Xfibo and Vancy before the video had even been made. Imian reached out to me and let me know that this was going on. He reached out in the DMs and said, hey, I'm beefing with everyone right now. I've made like 10 enemies in the past week. I then later replied, LMAO, who? He said, I kicked my whole tribe again with Dopey. Well, I kicked 2 people and then everyone else fumed, so I kicked them too. GG. At the time, me and Imian still had a very good relationship, so I was giving him the benefit of the doubt, as I always do with my friends, and I said, well, did they deserve it? Like, what's the story? To which Imian himself replied, no, they did not. To be honest, I ended up giving them owner and let them remake the tribe. I then sent this little GIF and then said, Imian, you're too impulsive, bro. He said, yeah, I can't be owner ever. And I said, what's your plans for Lost Islands, as the map hadn't released yet, and we continued to talk about that. Now, on the surface, this might seem like Imian has had a moment of self-reflection and understands the problem in how he handled that situation. However, I don't think that is the case, and I will get to that in a moment. The reason that I personally don't think that he actually felt bad about this situation, though, is this video came out 5 days after the conversation that I had with Imian. If Imian truly felt sorry and felt like he'd made the wrong decision for kicking Xfibo and Simplex and Vancy, why would he frame it in the video as if he was in the right? Why would he try to justify it? Why would he include the situation in his video at all if he truly thought that he made the wrong decision, was being impulsive, and just wanted to put it behind him? However, I personally believe that he did not want to put this behind him and he didn't think that there was anything wrong with it, because when I messaged him about it after the video had been released and said, Imian, bro, what the hell is this video you uploaded? This is a really bad look. His only response was, meh, don't see how it's a bad look at all. So I'm not exactly sure what the initial message was about, but I do have a theory about that. This is going to be subjective opinion, so if you guys don't want to hear my opinion on this particular point, I'm going to put a timestamp on screen where you can jump to just the next topic that we discuss in the video. However, I believe that when Imian reaches out and either apologizes to someone who he has wronged in the past or tries to get ahead of drama that's going to get to somebody's ears before they hear it from somebody else, it's a pure manipulation. I don't know if Imian's even aware that he's participating in the manipulation, but the manipulation is there nonetheless. He will either reach out to somebody before something gets to their ears to try and give his perspective and paint himself in the best light, just to immediately go back on what he said, as he did with me, or he will reach out to somebody who he had a very toxic conversation with and was very out of line with just days later to try and sweep it under the rug and just put a little whoopsie so that he can continue to associate with these people, create content with them, and so that there's no negative backlash. Whether or not he's understanding what he's doing isn't the problem here. The problem is the actions themselves. He literally takes no responsibility for his actions, wants to completely sweep under the rug any misstep that he makes, and will walk back, or in some cases, straight up lie about things that he has done. Speaking of lying, Imian has both taken part in and endorsed in making fake content, whether it be to save face or just to make content that ordinarily would take a lot more time and effort to make. Obviously, I'm not going to bring anything up that I don't have concrete evidence of. However, there has been more than what I'm going to show you guys here today. I'm just not going to mention anything that I don't have screenshot evidence of. Starting with Imian's 100 days video. When we decided, because me and Imian, again, were friends, and we discussed doing 100 days after we saw the emergence of the genre, that we were going to do 100 days videos, almost immediately, Imian was trying to find a way to cheat the system. First, he was contemplating lying about whether or not he had even died, but that's neither here nor there. I'm sure other people might participate in that. However, he didn't even do the prerequisite requirement for the video. As you guys can see from the screenshot on screen now, when he was trying to get me to help him choose which thumbnail would be best, which he then later did change, so it's not the same thumbnail that he has, but these were the first iterations. I asked him point blank how many days he had played. He only played 70. On top of that, he had his day timer moved up much faster than a normal day timer. I think it was around 2 times the speed of a normal day, which, to be honest, is totally fair. You can have your settings whatever you want them to be, but if you're not even going to play 100 days, don't make a 100 days video. Next, I'm going to show you guys just a quick screenshot. Take it or leave it. I just think it's kind of funny, that's why I'm including it, but it kind of does tie into the whole faking content, and I want you guys to be on the lookout for this kind of thing in his future videos, where Imian basically reverse engineered a laugh track. He says, "Had an idea to make videos funnier, thought I'd share it. When something is funny and people laughed, but not clearly or as much, add a realistic laugh from YouTube or something and add it. GG, never mind, it sucks. Need to find microphone laughs." Granty then replies, "Mofo is like Disney Channel laughs when a terrible joke is told, ah ha 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 ha." And I said, "Imian, I know damn well you didn't just suggest adding laugh tracks to your videos. Now, you could chalk this up to just a one-off if it was just a one-off of him trying to find ways to improve his content. There's nothing wrong with striving to improve your content. However, when you combine it with the sum of all of the parts here, it just is indicative of the larger problem that Imian is fully okay with faking everything up to the reactions to the jokes that he makes in order to get more views. I personally, as a YouTuber, don't like that at all, and I know a lot of other YouTubers don't like that either. If he's willing to fake the laugh that someone makes at their joke, he's willing to fake anything. And this is supported in one of his most recent videos. After the whole situation with Dopey, Xfibo, and Simplex took place, Imian decided to release this video here. Real life friend incited me over Ark, in which he said at the beginning of the video,
Hey guys, in today's video, I'm on my own server,
which turned out to not be true, and then went on to create this false narrative of him and Dopey having some internal strife with their real-life relationship, in which Dopey decided to kick not only him, but everybody from the tribe, and then went on this heartfelt apology at the end of the video.
I'm literally stuck because everybody's next to me, so I couldn't even move.
What's going through you guys' head, bro? I'm gonna start kicking everybody out, bro. You guys are you kick. You kick. You kick.
There's no way.
I got a friend that says solo. Get out of here,
bro.
Bro,
Why
no,
you being a monkey?
You're always this stupid, bro. There's no way. You did it again, bro.
Why did you
Shut up,
just
monkey.
do that?
Shut
You're
up,
a
monkey.
monkey, man.
Shut up.
And today, I finally realized everybody was right about Dopey all along. Xfibo, Twonk, Simplex, all these YouTubers who I was friends with that I kicked, all because of Dopey. Because no, they're too inactive. No, because of this. In the end, guys, you never kick your friends and you should never do it. So I feel really bad for doing it when I did, but that's all in the past now.
Literally no part of this video read as satire or comedy, except for the people that knew Imian as a person or played Ark enough to know what a genuine reaction to being kicked from your tribe for seemingly nothing was. And if you guys think that I'm just reading too far into this and other people saw that it was clearly a joke, I'm going to put some screenshots on screen now. You can see multiple comments, including the pinned comment which Imian put himself and replied to, agreeing with, sharing the same sentiment that it was really messed up what had happened to him, but they were glad that he had learned his lesson. Seemingly, the only people who understood that this was a pure fabrication was everybody who has ever associated with Imian or played the game to a deep enough level to understand what an actual reaction to being kicked from your tribe should be like. I know me and some of the other content creators that I associate with on a regular basis all saw through it immediately and were laughing about it in a group chat. And I do also have a deleted comment from Xfibo. I'm not sure if he deleted it or if Imian did, where Xfibo said to Imian, staging his video to get credibility back is quite cringe. Go back to scamming content creators and people configuring your servers. Don't trust this unstable kid. Part 2 coming in the next few days. I'm not sure exactly what that referred to, but obviously either Imian or Xfibo deleted the comment, and they seem to have worked out their differences, so I don't think we'll see any further beef between these two. However, it seems even the small amount of people seeing through this fabrication made Imian fold almost immediately, as in his very next video, he tried to play off the entire thing as a joke.
Guess who we're playing with? Yup, Dopey. The video was just a joke to troll his haters.
Even going so far as to start to reply to more recent comments attesting that it was a joke as well. I guess nobody decided to tell Imian that a joke actually needs to be funny, but then again, humor is subjective. Let's move on. The last thing that I would like to address as far as Imian endorsing fake content is this screenshot here, which you can't actually see what I was saying because I was banned from this Discord for ARC YouTubers that Imian created for opposing this viewpoint that he had, that just because something is on YouTube doesn't mean that it has to be real. He likened it to television, where television is a fabrication, so YouTube can also be a fabrication, and it's fine because it's just entertainment. This all had to do with another YouTuber making a 100 days video, which was very quickly found to have multiple instances of that YouTuber joining in creative mode, speeding up his days to an alarming rate. I think it was around 10 times faster than the normal day-night cycle, and still, with all of that, only playing 37 out of the 100 days, but just blatantly lying about it. Imian defended this individual tooth and nail because at the core of it, Imian doesn't disagree with this behavior. He endorses it and he partakes in it. He's going to continue to fake content for as long as his viewers allow him to do so. The next thing that I'd like to talk about pertains to Imian's cluster as a whole, as well as how it pertains to my cluster. So I am going to go ahead and initially just get in front of the accusations that I have some sort of bias and I'm trying to make Imian look bad. This is in no way a flex or anything like that, but Imian's cluster has never been competition to mine. Our cluster is one of the more successful clusters on Windows 10 and Xbox, rivaling some of the more established clusters that have been around for a year or two or longer, that have multiple YouTubers promoting them every single wipe, whereas Imian's cluster literally loses 90% of its population within the first few days. So there is no bad blood between, oh, he's taking away my pop or anything like that. The only issues that I have to do with the illicit activities that have taken place with the people that he has chosen to associate himself with. So getting that out of the way, let's go ahead and first speak about the creation of his cluster. Like with most content creators, myself included, we aren't exactly aware of how to fully code a server for ARC, so we usually reach out to another individual who has that experience when we set up a cluster. Imian is no exception to this rule, and he partnered with multiple people. However, we're going to focus on the guy who specifically coded the servers and purchased the servers that his clusters run on. His Discord name previously was Glock999. If you had seen it in the Discord, that's the name that it would have been under, as far as I'm aware. He has since changed his Discord name to James D, and he worked closely alongside of Imian to code the cluster as it was being formed before it had even been released, and he even put the money up to purchase the servers that Imian's cluster initially ran on. However, things would turn sour shortly after the cluster's launch, and Imian would actually cut James out of the server entirely.
I mean, the whole thing already dropped because I'm done with like ARC situations and shit now. But it first started because I had my server right alone, and then I wanted to buy a promo from him, but I ended up not getting the promo. And then later on, I found out he wanted to start his own server. I reached out to him and I was like, you want to start a partnership where we both become owners, and I would run the servers, and then we end up agreeing on it that we both would go 50-50 basically. And so I ended up paying for the servers and then did the coding and everything. And then when everything was ready, he said, one thing, it has to be in my name. I was like, okay, it doesn't matter. So we ended up naming it Amiens Arc and everything. So I had to drop my server basically to come merge my server with him. So basically, right now it was just one server, and I had all my people from my server, my admin team, and everything come over to his server. Everything was going good, and then you know, I'm a busy person. I do IRL stuff, like a lot of IRL work. So everything was going good. I had my admin team helping him most of the time. And one of the people that was doing the most ticking is one of my admins, anyways, besides Dopey. And one day I come when basically I told him I would run the server and everything, but he wanted to know how to do it himself too. So started working on it, and then one day everything was going good. And then one day I found out I'm just banned, and then he didn't tell me anything. He just banned me. Like, he didn't say, "Oh, you're not doing this. You're not working this much." It's like, bro, what? You just banned me. And then like I reached out to him, and then he told me basically I was not doing the work that was required. Like, what do you mean? I'm not working for you. I'm working with you. It's not like you're my boss.
Right. Were you compensated for the work that you did do at the end of that season?
Besides the profit we made from just running the server, he took the servers because the server still had a bunch of days left. And then if he wanted to end the partnership, the thing is, he knew he was gonna ditch me and just ban me out of nowhere. He made me change the Notrado email to his name because he know he was about to do some sneaky shit.
Right.
So it's like when I woke up, everything was gone, and I was kicked out of nowhere. It's not like I was his employee; I was his partner.
Right. So from what I'm hearing, just so that I can try and clarify this as like concisely as possible, you were compensated as far as donations went for the server, as if you were
Yeah,
like just a paid employee. However,
yeah,
the servers themselves, you paid the upfront cost. Imian didn't chip in for that,
nope. And he
and
didn't pay me
to
back for
this
that.
day, he still has access to those.
Yup, and he didn't pay me for them.
And do you have like an approximate value of how much those servers cost?
Yeah, in total it was about like 500 something.
And how much, just for clarity, how much were you compensated from the donations?
I think it was about $600.
Okay, so he compensated you for the donations,
I think it was about like 400. I don't
but
remember,
then
but
but then he still didn't give you the money for the servers. So I feel like,
nope.
would it be reasonable to assume that in his mind he felt like the compensation that he gave you was to pay for the servers or something like that?
I mean, I guess that's what he means, but it wouldn't make any sense.
Yeah,
That's just regular work,
exactly. Did
and
he
I was
ever did
already
he ever
working.
express that kind of opinion, like, "Oh, well, I paid you so the servers are mine," or anything like that?
Nope,
Yeah.
he was basically calling me a clown and a bozo.
But unfortunately, that isn't even the worst thing that has happened when it comes to Imian's cluster and him being at the helm of it. When I said earlier that there was illicit activities involved with his cluster, I wasn't being hyperbolic, I was being genuine. Whether or not he fully understands to what extent he has associated himself with these people is up for debate. However, he has been made aware of the situation and is refusing to acknowledge or change the situation. So we're going to have to assume that at least on the surface level, he is aware of what's going on. There's no way to tiptoe around it. Imian is fully in bed with a group of people who DDoS Xbox and Windows 10 servers for money. Whether he has chosen to pay these people to DDoS other clusters himself is completely unknown to me. I don't want to believe that that's something that he would do, but I also didn't want to believe that he was capable of all of the other things that have happened in the last couple of months. So anything is entirely possible. However, he has been made aware on more than one occasion by more than one person that the people who he has hired in his Discord and put as cluster security and actively endorsed their services are some of the most egregious DDoSers in the Windows 10 ARC community. On screen now, I'm going to show you guys a couple of screenshots, and I need you to pay close attention to each one because they all connect together. So in the first screenshot that we have here, it's just a screenshot of Imian's Discord because I'm personally not in his Discord anymore. I believe I am banned from his Discord, but that could be changed at this time. You can see executive team is Dopey and Imian. Xbox admins are LKO, Shadow, and Wanted, and then you have a section called Cluster Security. These people, Affluent Duck, Steezy, and 999 parentheses Eagle, are all people that DDoS servers for money. Steezy actually owns Sanati Services, that's why it's in his bio. And in this next screenshot, you guys will see this is a screenshot of the Sanati Services Discord, in which people are not only actively participating in DDoSing clusters, but they're actively DDoSing my cluster. Here's another screenshot of a ticket in which one of Steezy's tribe members were banned. Might have been multiple. I wasn't actually active in the ticket, but he basically said that if we weren't going to unban his tribe, that he was going to 255, which is a slang term for DDoSing servers on ARC, as the server ping only goes up to 255. Our servers, we took this screenshot as well as the previous screenshots, and I personally, at this point, knew that on some level Imian had to know what was going on, but I wasn't going to directly confront him about it. However, my server partner Karf decided that she was going to take it upon herself because at the time me and Imian were still somewhat of friends. Even though all of this was going on, I was trying to give him the most benefit of the doubt possible. So Karf went and confronted Imian with all of this information, as you guys will see in the screenshot here. You'll see the same ticket. This is a mobile screenshot. Steezy talking about 255ing the cluster. Karf says, so you're working with DOSers who are also threatening to hold the servers, yikes. Imian's only reply is, I'm not working with any DOSers. She then shows him additional screenshots of the people who are actively DDoSing our servers and threatening to DDoS and owning Sanati services and all of that, being the same people that he has on his cluster security. And the only response that Imian comes back with is that they're protecting his services via a legal mitigation service that follows TOS. Karf then replies and says this is on a whole new level of stupid as she's starting to get frustrated. To which Imian says, that's disrespectful, and Karf replies, they DOS, you're aware of that. There's reasons why clusters don't work with it, it's because it supports that behavior. That's disrespectful, Imian. You may not have a personal relationship with me, but you and Caesar are friends, so that's a bit of a yikes. I never heard anything from Imian on this. He, to this day, to the best of my knowledge, has never gotten rid of these people from his cluster, even though we've shown him definitive proof that not only is the service that they promote being used to hold our server, but the actual people who he is either paying or just promoting in his Discord are using their DDoS on my cluster. Again, remember, all of this took place at a time when me and Imian were still on good terms and still considered each other friends. Once again, I would like to reiterate that the official story that Imian has put on this entire situation as far as the DDoS thing is concerned is that he personally believes that these people are just nice guys who would never hurt a fly and aren't DDoSing anyone. He doesn't associate with DOSers, and he's just doing what is legally allowed for him to do to keep his servers from lagging. Except that we showed him definitive evidence to the contrary that he just chose not to believe, I guess. I don't know. It's kind of frustrating. I'm trying really hard to not get angry about it, but this is one part of the video that really boggles my mind because I, for a long time, for about 2 weeks, was going back and forth with Karf saying there's no way that Imian actually knows what's going on. He's just trying to, have the best server experience possible for his players. But when Steezy personally said in our Discord that he was going to hit our servers, and that was brought to Imian's attention, Nothing ever changed. Nothing happened. And for somebody who tried to say that he was my friend and continues to try to be friendly with me, I don't know how you can do that. That really honestly hurt my feelings. Now, I could go on about how Imian has hired people on his cluster who were literally going around using hacked clients and cheating, which is a very weird thing, but to each his own. Or I could talk about the time that Imian creates bases in GCM to try to sell them for real world money on his server. Or I could talk about the fact that he tried to sell a banned player's base for real money. All of that's not really something that I want to get too far into, though, more than what I've just said here. You can run your server any way that you want to at the end of the day. That's totally your prerogative. The last thing that I want to talk about, though, I am not going to stay chill about at all. And I'm sorry if you guys think that I'm being a little bit emotional here towards the end, but this shit actually pissed me off. While Imian was trying to promote his cluster, which I haven't seen him doing in a long while, I don't know if he's given up on it or what the situation is, he enlisted the help of a YouTuber known as Finn Reinhardt, which if you guys are in the art community, you guys are going to be more than well aware of who Finn is. Finn has done animation work for countless YouTubers in the community. I'm not even sure which all ones have work done by him. I personally have my intro animation done by him. It's some of the best work that you can get if you're a content creator in this space. His videos have millions of views. The effects on it are unrivaled by anybody else that's making art content. And all around, Finn is literally just one of the nicest guys that you can talk to, despite him being rooted in the 1x official PvP scene, which is the most toxic place for you to find people on this game. So when Imian came to him and he said, I'm making a trailer for my server and I need some animation work done, even though Finn was busy with university, he took time out of his day and started working on it. They hadn't even discussed pricing or anything yet. He just got to work on it because him and Imian were friends. Surely, even if he didn't get paid for it, he would at least be able to, get some exposure for something that he enjoys doing, and that would be enough for him. Imian never gave him any payment. He never gave him any credit for his work, and that is one thing that I cannot let slide. That is literally the most disgusting thing out of this entire situation, in my opinion, that Imian has done. How can you, as a person who makes content, which is an art form, rip off another artist? And if you guys know me and you've known me for a while, you know how I feel about this. I have a background in photography. I've done video editing before I did YouTube. Art has value, and when you rip off somebody who's making you a thumbnail, doing editing, animations, whatever, that is the scummiest thing that you can do as a content creator. You do not deserve the platform that you have if you scam people out of their work as an artist. That is so fucking rude. Anyways, let's go ahead and read what Finn had to say about it so that we can get the most clear, unbiased picture straight from the horse's mouth. Finn says, alright, I'll try to recap it as objectively as possible. Imian wanted to launch his new servers in December. He wanted to make a trailer to promote it both for Xbox and PC. He approached me and asked if I could finish it soonish. He said he could pay depending on how long it takes. He showed me the end of the Scorched Earth trailer as a reference in which the ARC logo appears. I was very busy with university at the time and still am, so I did not want to commit to something I might not be able to finish on time. It was a project from scratch. Sometimes there's just nothing fitting that you come up with, and it can take a long time to figure that out. In case that happened, I did not want to be forced to make a compromise from my studies just to fulfill a deadline. Thus, I did not specifically agree on any payment before starting. I just started when I found time or had ideas on what to do. Creating the video was a mixed experience. He was very vague about some things, which led to confusion. I had to change a lot of things, and replies took a lot of time. The whole thing took about 4 to 6 hours when I finished with the video. I exported 2 versions, rendering taking quite some time too, and sent them to him. A day later, he asked me to change the date of the Xbox version. I fire up After Effects, change it, prepare everything for render, and he tells me not to change it. It seemed that he had not made up his mind about it thoroughly before asking me for my work. This put more strain on me, as it always is uncomfortable when the client doesn't even know what they want, yet they have specific requests. Either way, after the video was finished, he asked me if I could do the sound design, which I also did. I don't usually do that as a separate request, even for normal commissions. This would have been something extra. This is the result of what I sent him for the Xbox trailer, which was later changed again upon his request to have more greenish colors. After I exported the latest versions, I sent them to him. I did not hear back. Then on December 8th, he uploaded the trailer for his Xbox server. It featured my animation in there, and at this point I started to become agitated. Regarding compensation, I would not request any money from him, even though I had invested a lot of time into this project. I would leave it up to him to choose to do so. We did not specifically agree on an amount, and I do not charge without a firm prior agreement. Maybe that's the German in me or common sense, not sure. So if he decided not to pay, I would have been fine with that. I would have learned from this experience and probably do things differently in the future. However, when I noticed that he used the animation and did not provide any credit or word about who made it, if you choose not to compensate for free work, the least I expect is to provide proper attribution. You cannot say, but I was too busy with my server because so was I with university. And this just shows the appreciation you have for my time that I invest in your project. If you cannot care enough to provide proper attribution, why should I care enough to help your project thrive? The way he integrated it into the trailer was a disrespect by itself. It looks like a video a 10-year-old made in 10 minutes, some weird rap music with titles that explain the features of the server, and then the animation comes. Both his audio and the video fade over it, pretty much ruining the impact. I was certainly not pleased with this at all, especially because he then took the trailer offline. It was up for around 3 days and never used the other animation. So in the end, my work was really for nothing. This is the trailer that is now unlisted. I still have the link. After his second server was supposed to be released, I messaged him and addressed the issues that I had. I wanted to wait to give him a chance to decide whether to credit or compensate and message me. It didn't happen. He replied saying he didn't know that I wanted compensation or credit. Well, you should at least do one of them if you have any decency. I would have been fine with credit and a moderately well-created rest of the trailer. I guess that summarizes it pretty well. Do you have any questions? At the end of this video, I would just like to reiterate what I said at the beginning. This is not a personal attack on Imian as a person, and I do not care what opinion you have of me or him at the end of it. I'm just trying to give unbiased facts, except for the parts where I told you guys that I was going to give my own personal biased opinion on things in the video. Unbiased facts of what has happened in the last few months and how he's been conducting himself. Imian has not always been this kind of person, at least not from my understanding. I've known him for quite a long time, and I hope that in the future he's not this kind of person again. Fortunately, there is a little bit of a happy ending for Finn and the guy that Imian started his servers with, because when I was discussing this whole situation with my friends that also make content, another content creator in the ARC scene, Blur, decided to take it upon himself to actually reach out to both James and Finn and pay them both out of his own pocket, because he just thought this whole situation was really gross and wanted to make sure that they were made whole on their server and their services that they provided. So if you guys can show Blur some support down in the comments and go check out his channel, I would really appreciate it. If you do not want to align yourself with a person who fakes content to get ahead, if you don't want to align yourself with a person who will openly just steal money from somebody else and cut them out of a business partnership, if you don't want to align yourself with a person who knowingly associates with people that are committing an actual felony and DDoSing other clusters for money, if you don't want to align yourself with a person who will not even give credit, let alone payment, to somebody who's making artwork for them, that's none of my business. That's Imian's business. The entire purpose of this video was just to get the information out there and for everybody to come to their own conclusions about that information. I don't care. I don't want to have any beef with anybody. I don't want to have a conversation. I will not be making a part 2 of this video. Thank you guys for watching. Hopefully it gave you something to consider, and I'll see you guys in my next video. Peace.